For a long, long time, the advice for growing any kind of brand or business has been pretty simple. Just be more visible. But what if that's actually a trap? In this explainer, we're going to challenge that core belief and explore something way more powerful and frankly more durable for growth.
So let's just put it right out there. This is the central idea we're going to unpack. It's a simple sentence, sure, but it completely flips conventional wisdom on its head. It basically suggests that this whole race for attention, for just being seen, might be distracting us from the one thing that actually builds a real, lasting connection, being understood.
I want you to keep this question in your head as we go through this, because the answer, it changes absolutely everything. It changes your strategy, what you create, and yeah, your results. Are you playing the short game of attention, or are you in it for the long game of understanding?
Okay, so first things first. Let's start by dismantling this myth of the visibility trap. This idea that just showing up everywhere all the time is somehow going to guarantee your success. I mean, this has to look familiar, right? The advice is always to be everywhere. Post more, get on every single new platform, just make more noise than everybody else. It is an exhausting strategy, and it's built on nothing but sheer volume.
But here's the real problem. Chasing visibility, all it does is create familiarity. People might, recognize your name or your logo, but if they have no idea what you actually stand for or what problem you solve for them, that connection is incredibly fragile. It could vanish literally overnight.
So this is the choice you have to make. The visibility trap gets you seen often, but the real goal, the thing we should all be aiming for, is to be understood quickly, because that's what scales trust. It's not about how many times people see you, it's about how fast the right people really get you. Okay, so if visibility is a trap, what's the alternative? Well, it's clarity. Let's dive into why clarity is the real growth lever and how it helps you build something that you actually, truly own.
I love this metaphor. Think about it. Visibility is a rented asset. It totally depends on the whims of algorithms, the latest trends, what's hot right now. But clarity is an owned asset. It's the understanding that stays with your audience no matter what platform they're on. They'll remember what you stand for long after a post disappears from their feed.
Now this is a super important point. So many people mistake clarity for just being simple, and they end up just being vague. But clarity isn't about dumbing things down. It's about being incredibly precise. It's the difference between a blurry, out-of-focus photo and a tack-sharp, high-resolution image.
And you know why so many of us fall into this trap? Because vague messages feel safe. You're not excluding anyone. You're trying to appeal to absolutely everybody. The problem is, when you try to speak to everyone, you end up speaking to no one. Your message just becomes meaningless background noise.
Oh man, do these sound familiar? We see these vague, empty phrases everywhere. Helping businesses grow. Okay, but which ones? And how? AI-powered solutions. A solution to what problem exactly? These are just filler phrases that sound kind of professional but communicate absolutely nothing.
So, if that's vague, what does precision actually look like? Well, it means you can answer the hard questions. Questions like, who is this for? What specific problem am I solving? How do I think about that problem differently? And, crucially, what am I willing to say no to? That right there, that's where real clarity begins.
So we've established that clarity is way better than visibility. But how does it actually build trust? Let's get into the mechanics of it.
Think about it like this. Every single time someone comes across your message, and it's even a little bit unclear, you are making their brain do extra work. It's called cognitive load. You're creating friction, and our brains are hardwired to avoid friction. When something feels like too much effort to understand, we just tune out.
This is literally the internal monologue that's happening inside someone's head when they see a vague message. They're asking themselves, is this for me? What do they even do? Is this relevant to my problem at all? And if the answers aren't immediate and obvious, their answer is almost always no. And here's the crucial link, the simple formula. Precision signals confidence. When you're precise, you sound like you know what you're talking about. And that confidence makes people feel secure. And that feeling of security? That is the absolute foundation of trust. It's a direct chain reaction. Okay, this all sounds great in theory, right? But how do we actually put it into practice? Let's shift from the what and the why to the how. This is what we call the clarity loop. It's this awesome compounding cycle for building trust. And look,
It all starts internally with your own clear thinking. Once you have that, you can use clear language. That in turn sets clear expectations for people. And finally, you deliver a consistent experience that actually matches your message. Each step just reinforces the next, making the whole loop stronger.
But, and this is a big but, you gotta know this system is only as strong as its weakest link. If your thinking is crystal clear, but your language is full of confusing jargon, trust leaks out. If you set great expectations, but the actual experience is inconsistent, boom, trust leaks. It all has to work together.
And here's another really powerful way to think about this. Clarity isn't just about what you create. It's also a filter for what you don't do. It tells you which opportunities to ignore, which trends to just let pass by, and which clients are not the right fit for you. It dramatically reduces the noise and helps you focus on what really matters. You see, this isn't just a different strategy. It's a fundamentally more sustainable one. So let's wrap this up by looking at exactly why clarity always wins in the long run.
Look, in the short term, hype and noise, they can feel like they're winning. They travel so fast, but hype has an incredibly short shelf life. Clarity is different. It builds slowly, for sure, but it lasts. As markets mature and audiences get smarter, all that noise just fades away, and what's left standing is the clear, trusted voice. And honestly, this should feel incredibly liberating. It means you don't have to play the volume game. You don't need to shout to be heard. When your message is consistent, when your point of view is stable, you create this reliable pattern. And over time, people learn to trust that pattern way more than any loud, fleeting message. So let's end this with a challenge for you, a simple test. Take one post, one email, one page on your website. Can a total stranger look at it and immediately answer these 3 questions? First, what do you believe? Second, who is this for? And third, why should I trust you? If those answers aren't obvious, more visibility is not going to help. Only more clarity will.